Hello, hello, hello. A very warm welcome to all our friends, viewers, stakeholders, fans of Africa Rise with Susan West. I know we haven't been coming on for a while now. Um, this is due to very, very major changes in our schedule. However, we are here today. And so, as you join, please do the needful. Invite your friends, invite your family, invite your neighbors, invite everybody, and share this live, and be an active viewer. Send in your questions and comments as we do here on Africa Rise. We will take as much reads as we can. So if you're watching on YouTube, welcome. If you're watching on Facebook, welcome, welcome, welcome. Our You can follow, subscribe to all of our channels. It's Africa Rice TV on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, so it's been such a long time, and I'm looking forward to having a beautiful conversation today with our guest, who will be coming on shortly due to technical reasons. We're still waiting to get to see him in the studio, but they are coming in. So today I have His Majesty, Dr. Nene. Let me, because I call him my father and I don't want him to be upset that I have to um, say the name wrong. It's Abordonu. Abordonu. Dr. Nene Abordonu. His Royal Majesty Dr. Nene Abordonu will be on shortly. I have Dr. Kessi Jabari, who will come and do a beautiful introduction for us to meet His Majesty the King. Okay, so in the meanwhile, whilst we wait for them to join in, yes, send in your comments about the topic for today, which is the return of the royals and African spiritualism. What does that mean for you? The return of the royals. A lot of people might be asking, what does that mean? The return of the royal. Is it the royals? Is that something to do with a people or some kind of artifact? Because of course we are aware that 150 years ago the British pillaged, stole, um, you know, artifacts from Ghana, from Nigeria, from almost every African country you can name it. And I understand that some of these countries have had an arrangement with the British government to return some of them. I'm not sure what the return of the royals is about, and hence the reason when the king is here, he will do throw more light on what it means, the return of the royals, and of course, learn a thing or two about African spiritualism. What is African spiritualism? What does it mean to you? What does it mean for you? For some people, when we hear spiritualism, it's a whole lot of things going on, and then when you hear African spiritualism, some people only think about the way that a picture has been painted in the media for ages and ages of when you mention Africa and spiritualism, all people see or the memory that it provokes in their mind is voodoo. Is that true or false? Because a lot of people, until recent time, when they hear about things like this, all they think about is, voodoo. Or so let's come together today and learn a thing or two about African spiritualism. What African spiritualism means for you might be a little different for what it means for some another African person or someone else for that matter. Okay, so let me see. So as you join, please share, invite your friends, send in your comments, your questions if you have any. I think they are struggling to join in for whatever reason. Yeah, we're having problems getting in. I don't see why they should have a problem, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. Okay, so we'll just wait Okay, I see. I think one person has come through, waiting for the second, and we will be starting in earnest. Let's see here. Okay, so it's going to be a very interesting conversation that we will have today. I promise you that. Okay, I'm just waiting to see Dr. Jabari, who will do the introduction, who will be introducing His Royal Majesty Dr. Nene Abordonu. Okay, all right, so just bear with me. I'm just going to have a look to see what's going on with Dr. Jabari. Let's see. All right, welcome back. And so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead because His Majesty the King is waiting in the wings. So Dr. Jabari will definitely be joining us soon as he is able to. All right, so without taking too much of your time, let's welcome His Royal Majesty Dr. Nene Abordonu.
Greetings, greetings, greetings.
Greetings, Your Majesty, my father, as I refer to you, because unofficially I have been adopted by you.
Exactly. That's right.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much for finding our time to join us on Africa Rice TV today. It's going to be a very educative, informative, and spiritual conversation that I hope that we will be having today, picking from your wealth of knowledge. So, the topic of discussion today is the return of the royals and African spiritualism. But before we go into that, unfortunately, Dr. Jabari, who was supposed to be doing the introduction, is stuck somewhere. I just want you to take a few moments to just talk to us about yourself, your kingdom, and all of that, so that some of us watching who don't know very much about Ghana will be kept abreast.
Okay. Greetings, 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 my royal greetings. Yeah, my name is Dr. His Royal Majesty Dr. Nene Aiku Abordonu the Fourth of the Adan State of Ghana, Greater Accra, Ghana, West Africa. All right. Um, a little bit of my background. I studied early studies was in Ghana, then to the United States to pursue business administration. Had an MBA in University of Maryland, then a PhD in University of California with concentration on leadership and strategic planning. The king of the Kabiawetu clan of Adan, which is in Greater Accra, Nene Tete Aiku Abodonu the fourth hails from the Okanse Royal Gate. Okanse is a name, a household name in Ghana. Okanse were behind the independence of Ghana. They founded it. The Okanses brought the first newspaper to Ghana, the Evening Post. And they then brought former president of Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and Johnson Wallace from Sierra Leone as the editors. We brought first commercial banking into Ghana. We brought cinematography to Ghana. And then in 1939, when Africans were being cheated of commodities, we decided that all commodities going, all cocoa going, and other commodities going to Europe, we stopped it until the British Parliament called us to come for negotiations, and our price, the price we gave, was given to us. This is some of the revolutionary moves the Okansi family did. We were also behind the civil rights, funding the civil rights movement. We were also we funded the education of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Through Nigeria, he went to Nnamdi Azikiwe and to Lincoln. We did the funding. We did so much to ignite the independence of Ghana, which spread all over Africa. We were brains behind bringing Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, them to Ghana to study law. So that's a little bit about the Okanse family. And that's the royal family that I come from in Adan, Greater Accra region of Ghana, the capital.
Wow. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for that elucidating background of the Okansi family. So it then of course makes us understand better the reason why you are the person spearheading the return of the royals. So for just before you came on, I just wanted to do a bit of explaining what that might imply as far as the return of the royals. I'm a little not so sure if the return of the royals means it is about a people returning from the diaspora back to the motherland, or is it about the return of stolen artifacts by the British and other colonial entities?
Okay, you remember 2019 was the 400 years of the end to slavery. And most of us in the diaspora was taken to the diaspora as slaves when we are indeed royals.
Mm.
And I always say something that a tree without a root can never flourish. We hear the Israeli case going to Israel, the German case from the US going to Germany for visits. The Italians have affiliation to their motherland. What about the Africans? So we've deserted our past. And that's why for the colored person to thrive is difficult because we are not in tune with our ancestors. So the return of the royals is the dreams of Marcus Garvey, Nkrumah, Du Bois, Paddy Moore, and to mention few. That we will take Africans in the diaspora back home, not as slaves, but they are going home as royals, who they are. And this, we call it the majestic royal returns, so that we create homes for them in Africa. And we do the naming ceremonies to give them African names. Those who want to be dual citizens will initiate that. Like recently, Steve Wonder became a dual citizen in Ghana. Bob Marley's wife, who lives in Ghana, is a dual citizen. So now we are initiating the return of the royals to put Africans into homes. That anytime they come to the diaspora and they want to visit Africa, they have a home to go. So this is like creating a bridge between the diaspora and Africa. And you know what that can do? Most Africans in the diaspora have successful businesses that they could link that business to Africa. So when we say the return of the majestic return of the royals, what we are referring to is that let's go back home like Marcus Garvey them dreamt about. And honestly, this is the age of the Aquarius, the age of information, the age of enlightenment. We've been deceived for too long. And now let's go back and tap the resources we have and let's make Africa better for the future. Thank you.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. And of course, this is something that um, Afrocentric, Pan African minded people will appreciate. But in just trying to understand what the pathways you're creating in Ghana, I'm not sure that that has been replicated on the continent of Africa by other African countries, but just so that people on the continent understand, and even the people in the diaspora who want to come back home, what are the pathways that they can engage in, finding their way back home if Ghana is going to be that place for them? What is that, route that they need to follow to, start the process of the majestic return of the royals?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Ghana is just the tip of the iceberg. We're starting in Ghana, then spread it over the continent. So what we are doing now is that we are putting the structures together now that the logistics will be created, a website that you go, which will be advertised worldwide. And when you get to that website, we'll direct you. So it's like before you get, example, you get to Ghana, your package, everything is ready. Tour buses, homes that we have to put you in, names that we have to give you. We give you options and you choose. So it will be, we will have an office in the diaspora and offices in the diaspora and offices in Africa. So it's something that when you get into Ghana, there will be an orientation because coming to from the diaspora to Africa, there are challenges. And we know it's not going to be easy, but with determination, we will do it. And we'll take you, give you a tour of the country. Then, if we are, let's say we're staying for a week, that week we'll have programs spread within the week. And we'll strictly adhere to the programs. And after that, you come back if to the United States, we'll bring you back to the United States. So with that, you have some connection with the family we introduce you to, or the family you would like to join will give you options. And then we do the naming ceremonies. So some of these families have, like myself, we have royal lands and land properties. We can give you land if you want to build a house, you build. Like Bob Marley's wife has a house in Ghana. We'll give you a land to build. Anytime you want to go back, you are free to go back home. so that spiritually we can develop. Thank you.
Wow. That is such a heavy, that's a heavy perk that comes with any, you know, African in the diaspora who wants to return home, especially African Americans, because knowing that just getting engaged and coming all the way to the motherland, you already have an opportunity to be given, to be gifted a land that you can build a home for yourself. That is a very big incentive. And also, of course, the dual citizenship, thing you mentioned. So I just wanted to ask, is this something, because when I looked online and I saw the Return of the Royals, I saw Return of the Royals 2, as though there has been a preceding event that had taken place that was also the Return of the Royals. So please shed more light on that.
Yeah, the return of the Royals 2019 was the return of the end of slavery. So Ghana instituted the return of the Royals in 2019, and it was done by my cousin, Dr. Asi Okansi. The Okansi family, initiated it, and Ghana accepted it. And Beyonce and most of the stars came, celebrities came to Ghana for the return. Then I sat down and I said that year alone should not be the end, because slavery took a long period of time to
Absolutely.
get a number of people here in the diaspora. So we should reverse it. Then I sat down with Dr. Jabari and Co. and decided to institute it as a program, as an institution. And actually, as a matter of fact, we are not doing that alone, but we are extending it to Black colleges around the United States and other parts of the world,
Hmm.
so that we will have a curriculum to teach Black history. Let us tell our own history,
By
not
ourselves.
somebody telling our history. So we will narrate the history. It doesn't end there. We are to institute things like royal festivals, whereby we will have companies like Netflix and Co. to document it, our festivals. And sometimes we bring some of the royals back to the diaspora for a match in New York, in London, in Paris, so that they will see the dignity of the Black person. We
Hmm.
have to project the Black race to the world. We've been sleeping for too long. It's time for us to wake up. And the age of the Aquarius, starting from this period, the age of information, has given us the light, because all the spiritual channels are open for Africa to come back, so that the great Nubian civilization, the Semitic civilization, will be revived.
Right.
And it's starting with the royal returns. Thank you.
Absolutely. I see Dr. Jabari is in the house. I'm just going to bring him up just for a brief moment to, give us a little bit of information as well. Bear with me. Hello, Dr. Jabari. Your camera seemed to be facing a way that I'm not sure if we are, operating in the same um, reality, so to speak. Okay.
Sincere apologies. My technical people are working to rectify the problem, as it were. Good afternoon.
Right. Good afternoon. So thank you for finding time to come in. I know you're very busy somewhere, but you had to run in. So His Majesty already started talking, but I know that there's a lot that you would like to tell us about His Majesty and what he's doing, and the program, the Return of the Royals. So just take a few moments and talk to us about it.
Yes, thank you very much, Susan. Allow me to be a typical African. I must respect that His Royal Majesty the King is here with us. So allow me to pay my due respect and all royal protocols observed. Your Royal Majesty, King Nene Tete Ayeku Abordonu IV, I salute you traditionally. In our culture, when the king speaks, I am not allowed as a subject to comment any further. I am sure that His Royal Majesty has enumerated what the program is all about, and I want to stand on His Royal Majesty's explanation. Thank you.
That is absolutely brilliant, which is what I expected Dr. Jabari was going to say. Thank you. So we just go back to His Majesty's conversation with, as we've been having. So you mentioned, the first edition was held in 2019. And of course, bear with me a moment. Let me take this. And of course, it was thought that this should not be a one off event and has to be a recurring event. Since 2019, we're now in 2024. Why did it take so long between 2019 until now before another event is occurring?
Yeah, actually, basically, we recall that 2020 was the COVID year. And for us to get out of the COVID, it took us about almost 2 to 3 years for finally to come in the mainstream of activities. So during this sleeping period, we were nurturing it. And now that everything is clear, we are ready to move. But get to understand everything that happened to humanity has cosmic laws guiding it. So, cosmically, this is the right time to start.
I love
Thank you.
that. I love that. And I know that there's a scheduled event for the 11th of December 2024 to the 21st of December 2024. So correct me if I'm wrong with those dates. So tell us about what is going to happen this year for the event that has been, scheduled um, this year.
Yes, we are putting the logistics together this year because we have to launch the Royal Return officially. And we want to launch it with celebrities from Hollywood and parts of the world for them to appear. And we are going to put those celebrities into homes. And some will put them into royal homes that will give them kingship and make them princesses that will do the African traditional rituals for them and the naming ceremonies. And we'll put them on stools because this is something that uh, it's going to last almost forever. Even if we are gone,
Mhm.
it will continue. And we are making them developmental kings and queens and princesses because we want them to bring their development and investment into Africa. Why this is happening with the royal family is that we, the royals, own the land, but we adopting Western type of civilization or Western type of rulership. Rather, everything goes to the politicians. And the politicians come in, give us peanuts. Like example, I have gold on my land. A politician comes, he has the funding because every funding goes through government. And then they have a negotiations. They bring their consultants, they bring their big English. And before you realize, everything is gone, and they give the royals who own the land peanuts. And with a royal, one thing we should know is that I look at my kingdom as my home. Who wants to destroy his home? Everybody wants to build his home. Everybody wants his home to build a place, to be a place of envy and admiration. And that's the way we royals look at our kingdoms. But a politician, he is there for 4 or 8 years. So he doesn't care. They come in to loot and they go. So now we are initiating the royal returns so that investments, the people in the diaspora, our brothers in the diaspora and sisters in the diaspora who are wealthy, they have their wealth. We tell them, this is the diamond. It's on my land. Bring the machinery and mine so that I can give back to my people. I can build schools, I can build hospitals, I can build roads, bridges, and a whole lot of things for the people. But the politicians are not doing that. That's why Africa is in this state. So we want to change the narrative, so that our brothers and sisters that are rich, we make the developmental kings and princes and queens so that they can invest. And it's a win-win situation. They get, if it's gold, they get the gold. We can build gold collateral houses. We can bring banks to back the collateral houses, and Africa's narrative will be changed. So that's why we want to go this route. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this event this year. I'm not sure if it's okay or if you know already who these celebrities will be that will be attending the 2024 event from the diaspora at least. Is this something we're able to talk about? Do you know who these people are? So that some of us who are even continental Africans will be excited to perhaps replan our schedule on our for the year and see that we also take the opportunity to attend.
Yes, we are in the drawing room and we are trying to put things together. We are trying to make the necessary connections to bring them. So I would not like to give names now, but I think in our future interviews, names will come out, and we'll give you the authentic dates and time for this event, because there will be a big musical shows, in big stadiums, you know,
Right.
and these celebrities will bring powerful musicians to entertain the public, and will bring the press all over the world to announce the return of the royals. When they were taking us, they came to steal us. So no publicity was given. It was hidden business. But now we are going back. We want to show them that we were royals before we were taken from our royalty. So we have to honor our brothers and sisters in the diaspora by giving them lands and things to build their houses, because it belongs to them. They were there. It's for them, and we have to give them what we have. We have to share it
I
because
agree.
it's been for them. And
Okay.
so
All right.
that's the message. So we will come out with tentative dates and time when all this will happen. And it will be broadcast all over the world.
Great.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask, when you talked earlier, you talked about giving them,
Hello?
homes, royal homes and families who will sort of adopt them into those royal homes
Hello?
and christen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay,
Hello?
I think the king is having some tech issues. Let's see if we can get it fixed. All right. We'll just give the king a moment to see if his audio is sorted. I could hear him, but I'm not sure if he could hear me as well. Can you hear me now,
Hello?
sir? Can you hear me? No, he can't hear me. So I think,
Hello?
no, he can't hear me. So I'll just message him. Let's get this sorted. Bear with me, guys. Uh, all right, just a moment. Let's see. All right, let's see if the problem has been fixed. Welcome back, Your Majesty. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you vividly.
Oh, great. Thank goodness. Okay. So the question I was trying to put out before the technical interruption was the fact that there are so many of us out there in the diaspora, especially so many African Americans, because the return of the royals is mostly significant for these people who live in the United States of America and in the Americas, because of course there are people who were taken away from Africa who are not only in the not found only in the United States of America. This is quite a huge number of people, of descendants of the formerly enslaved, as Dr. Arikana Chayombori Kwayo always says. How I'm just wondering how many royal families or royal homes are there to absorb all of these people that are interested to returning.
Far before the, is it 1887 Berlin Conference, Africa had almost millions of kingdoms spread all over the continent before they came and butchered Africa and destroy our kingdomship. Even our kings, they call them chiefs now. Chief operation officer or what? We were kings and queens. So when we talk about kingdoms, royal kingdoms, we have a lot of kingdoms in Africa. And don't forget, Africa is the biggest continent in the world. Don't mind the way they draw Africa on the map, making it small. It's bigger than all of them. It's really bigger. But you know, psychologically, they place it that way on the map to abuse your mind, to tell you that, oh, they are small. But they know Africa is big. So we have land, we have room, and we have royal families. And some may not like a royal family, we'll put them into African families. They are all families.
Family. Absolutely.
Our objective is how to build that bridge between the diaspora and Africa.
Okay. And before it gets to the point where all these is possible, what has been the reception or the way the diaspora Africans have taken this initiative? Is it
Oh,
something that you can see already that quite a number of people are aware of this, they're interested, and they cannot wait to return to the motherland?
yeah, actually, as this is the embryonic stages. And the embryonic stages is like a wind blowing, cool, soft. Everybody will say, oh, okay, the place is good. But very soon, it's going to turn into a hot wind and turn into a hurricane that everybody will embrace it, because we have to do all the spiritual things to awake the ancestors so that this movement will go on. This is a movement that Africa has been crying for, has been yearning for ages. And now that it's coming, we have to wake the ancestral spirit so that it will manifest.
Absolutely. So, other than the website where people can go and get that information, before we get to the point of people, knowing about going to visit a website, are there programs that have been planned in the United States of America, for example, where you are beginning to educate these people, enlightening these people, and letting them know what it is that we are preparing on the continent for them to return?
Yes, we are putting all the package together. We are putting the package together gradually. Yeah, even we are now even perfecting the website. So when we are ready, then the advertisement will go into the air. Uh-huh. And
Right.
we are raising for massive funding for this. Yeah. Even some of our brothers and sisters may not have money to pay their fares. We are creating organizations, institutions that will fund that, because it's really the chance or your right to know Africa before you die as an
Absolutely.
African in the diaspora. Because when you do that, your ancestors that were put into slavery has been liberated.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And there is something we call history and I. We, we stand in the middle of history now as humans. Our actions will liberate our ancestors, and our actions also will create a future, liberate the future. So, if we cannot stand to do this, posterity will never forgive us, because this is a special age we are now in history, that the doors for the Africans have been opened spiritually. Thank
So
you.
just before you mentioned about the future, I was going to say, talking about at least visiting the motherland before, the person, the person's time here on earth is done. I wanted to understand the mindset as far as, we know how Africans are treated in the West by and large. So, is this something that will also impact the mentality of Africans in the diaspora, especially the descendants of the formerly enslaved? What is happening now? Is this something that has been looked into and understand that beyond just visiting the motherland once before a person dies, that this is something that has a greater impact in the minds of the people as a people?
Yes, the challenges are there, and I will not tell you they are small. The challenges are huge, but we have to do it because it's our calling. You know, because even now there are narratives going on, and they employ erudite professors in Harvard, Oxford, to say narratives about African history. And when they say the narratives, some of the narratives are, oh, the royal sold you into slavery. And all those narratives are going on to create divisions between we and our brothers and sisters. So this movement is going to debunk all those narratives and clear the minds of Africans. The challenges are huge, but a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. And let us start it. And the people who goes to Africa and see Africa and how it is, they will come back and tell their story. And there, everything will change. Before the Europeans came to Egypt, nobody knew about color. Nobody knew, nobody talked. When we, the blacks, were leading civilization, we never talk about color. Nobody knows color. Nobody calls anybody white or black. We know ourselves as humans. But with the coming of the Europeans, they came to put all these color things that, oh, you are black, you are white. But as we are sitting down, whether white or black, we are like vessels. Cut the skin is the same blood. Some blood are not white, some blood are not blue, some bloods are not dark. It's all the same blood. So it's just a vessel. We are all humans. So we have challenges, but we are going to work on the challenges. And we are looking at the challenges more than even the success of the program, because
Mm,
we have to work on the challenges first. And that's what we're going to tackle. Yes. And that's when we
absolutely.
start telling our history. We start bringing our royals here for events for them, for Africans to see. Like in my kingdom, we have a big event, one of the best festivals in Ghana. We call it Asafotufiam. And we index the battles and the struggles we went through. And we go through this every year. It comes on first week in August. And it's so colorful. And it tells the story of our people. It's time for us to document all these things so that they will air it in Netflix and TVs all over the world, so that they will see the culture and the beautiful things we have in Africa. But all this time they've been painting Africa like one horrible place. We have to change
Absolutely.
them. We have to change the narrative.
Absolutely. Now we are come of age. We're at a place where, knowledge is everywhere. If you seek, you will
Mhm.
find.
Fine.
A lot of Africans, even continental Africans, you will be amazed to know that some people who have never left their villages are more aware, more educated due to social media and all of these platforms available.
Mhm.
Are more aware. I recently watched a documentary produced by one of these channels I'm not going to mention, and it was a documentary visiting Nigeria. It was a British television channel. I was excited to see it because the person who was presenting it was, a veteran, and I thought this must be a good one. It left a sour taste in my mouth at the end because, just like we already know, there are beautiful places in Nigeria. Not one beautiful place was in focus. Everything that was in focus was had to do with all the negatives, every negative, in a very subtle manner. They still remain and using the same tactics of abusing our minds, of allowing the world to feel as though Africa is this very pitiful place and pitiful people. But we have come of age that we understand, because I recall everyone who watched the documentary kept saying, why didn't they show this place and that place and that place? Why did they only show? Because that is what they intend to do. It is our responsibility, like Your Majesty has, as you've mentioned, to tell our story ourselves, to project our continent ourselves, our countries ourselves. We are the ones to beam the light on ourselves to the rest of the world. So I am so happy. I am so happy that you have started this, that Ghana has taken the lead on this, and we're looking forward to an amazing, amazing majestic return of the royals event in 2024 December. For those of you who might want to attend, the dates are, as I've seen online, from the 11th of December to the 21st of December 2024. So make it a date, begin to book your tickets. Now, I just wanted us to go to the African spiritualism part of our conversation. When we talk about African spiritualism, we have been so bastardized in our minds that the first thing that most people think about when you hear spiritualism and Africa connected to it is voodoo. So please talk to us about what is African spiritualism?
This, this is a huge topic, but we'll try to tackle a part of it. You know, with the merging of the Bible and the Quran, our minds have been so corrupted to the extent that we think there is one great heaven or hell somewhere built for people to go. All those are illusions. I said they are illusions because long before they brought the Bible to us, we knew God and we knew the existence of the Creator. We don't call it God, call it the Creator. Atananyumo, the Mother, Father, God. That's how we call it. And we know that the God, the Creator, who created mankind, created a lot of gods beneath him. A typical example is like the president of the country have ministers. They're coming down, you have local government chairmen and all those things. That's how the Africans looked at spirituality. So some of these gods controls the water, controls the mountains, controls some big trees, controls a lot of things. Some controls the sun, the rising of the sun, the setting of the sun. Darkness come, another god takes over. It's a whole lot of work. But the Europeans have come to tell us that there is only one God, and through Jesus Christ, if you don't go through Jesus Christ, then you will perish in the world. That's a fallacy. That's a lie. When we talk about Jesus Christ and where Jesus Christ came, the God of that jurisdiction, if Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, nobody comes to the Father but through me, he's talking about that God, the God of that jurisdiction.
Hmm.
When Muhammad said, I'm the only messenger of Allah, nobody comes to the Father but through Muhammad, he's talking about the jurisdiction of that place. When Lord Buddha says he's the only person, he's talking about that jurisdiction because God has created a lot of gods around. And now the spiritual problem with Africa is that we've imported foreign gods. And our gods, because we didn't document the things that happened in the past, so we don't have histories of our gods, the great things they did. There were great miracles in Africa, which is happening up to now. People walk in fire. And it's not documented. And they say Jesus healed somebody, so it's a big deal. It's not a big deal in Africa. A lot of great things, great masters have come and gone. So what I'm saying that is that if we will know that we have to appreciate our gods in Africa, there our spirituality will awake, and we have to adore our ancestors. The reason being that you call Jesus, you call Moses, you call Muhammad, you call Buddha, they are all ghosts. They are dead and gone. And their people are honoring them. And our own ancestors who are dead and gone, we don't honor them. And if you don't honor your mother, and the same Bible you are reading say, honor your mother and father, and their days shall be long on earth. And we don't honor our ancestors. How do we develop? How do you sleep? And your ancestors bring you dreams. That dreams will lead you to manufacturing, lead you to things. that will change society. So our spirituality is so disconnected, and people will kill, people will do things because of religion. And if I will go back into history, even that Christianity, they are we are crying and we are putting our lives on. We kill people because of religion. When we were practicing, we brought it. When we were practicing Christianity in the ancient Egyptian civilization, the Mesopotamian area, we didn't practice political religion. We practiced spiritual religion, spirituality.
Mm.
But now, what they are practicing is what we call it political religion. That they build a house, they call it a church. Then you have to go and give money there, and that money is meant for God. God doesn't need, or the creator. The creator doesn't need money from you. So it's an institution which was created to rob people. The money you go to the church and give, go give to the poor, somebody who need food to eat. So anyway, I'm not here to condemn people's religion, but I'm just saying that African spirituality has been damaged, and that's the path on which the West brainwashed us and stole everything from us. So if we come back to awake our spirituality, then changes will come in Africa, which we are ready to do.
Right. Like I always say, when it comes to relationships with the creator, as you call him,
Mhm.
which is God to many people, and their
Mhm.
different names.
Yes.
Even in the Bible, they make reference to God as the God of Abraham, the God of Moses, the God of Jacob, the God of. And in my understanding, that is basically referring to a God who had a relationship with an iconic person, a relationship that was significant enough that it was referenced. So they have different names in the Bible for God. They say the God of Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Shalom,
Nisi.
Jehovah. And when these names are given to God at that time, it was based on the experiences and relationships that these individuals had or these people had with the God. So God is omnipotent. So he is a provider. So they called him Jehovah Jireh. So he brings peace in time of war. So they call him Jehovah Shalom. So it's just very confusing how, like you mentioned, the religion has been hijacked. It's become politicized, and so there's a lot of confusion out there. However, Africa and Africans seems to be the only, cultures that have been victimized by these immense confusion of religion and politics. Because if you go to the continent of Asia, you find that they are prospering. They encountered the British in different ways. Some things were destroyed, some they kept with the last blood in their body. If you go to India, for instance, why are these people prospering? Why are they succeeding? Why is Africa failing? When you begin to look into it, you realize that they took so many things from these people, but these people never let go of culture, religion, because this is what connects them to their past, connects them to their land. And so, of course, I do agree and understand that until as Africans, we understand God as a God of Africa and understand that God and have a relationship with Him on those bases, not um, understanding Him with a projection as the West have made, that have somehow made us so afraid to question, to challenge some things or dogmas that just don't make sense. And of course, Africa is a very sophisticated place, and our cultures have been way more sophisticated long before the invasion or the colonial times or the slave times. So I understand you. And of course, you've also mentioned that you are not here to condemn other people's ways of belief or belief, basically, which is true. We are just having a conversation to understanding how Africans too can begin to win, understanding who they are, where they come from, what they believe in, and stop mixing up things and confusing ourselves. So, of course, there are people who still practice African traditional religion, and there are people who still do, practice whatever it is. On that note, Your Majesty, my father, as I mentioned, I want you to bring all of the conversations we've had today together: the return of the royals and African spiritualism. In other words, give a summary and give us your parting words for the day.
Yeah, before I will go on the summary, one thing I would like Africans to know, or humanity to know, is that we have to pay reverence to family because it's the door which you enters the world. And when you leave the world, you go through the same doors. When you come, this stage is the final stage to perfect your next life. And your deeds on earth, will, when you do positive things on earth, it raises the name of your family.
Hmm.
So by the time you leave Mother Earth, there's a glorious door open for you. Your family, your ancestors will embrace you with happiness. If you come on earth and destroy the name of your family, when you go back, all doors will be shut. So
Hmm.
you have that spiritual pain. Those are the things. Writing the Bible, they went into the Sumerian text to bring all those hell, heaven, and all those things. But this is a simple explanation. So, what when you're on earth, guide yourself and give back to humanity. Make a name, leave a legacy. So
Hmm.
when you are gone, you'll be remembered. That's a major part of African spirituality. That's why we
Hmm.
don't play with name giving. We don't play with those ceremonies when a child is born into the earth. Like in my culture, when a child is born, 7 days, we bring the child out early dawn and they throw a water on the roof of the building, and the water drops on that child, and the child screams, and that voice is being taken by the ancestors. Then the necessary naming ceremony rituals is done.
Wow.
Then when you are dead too, there are rituals they do before you depart. Okay, now coming to the summary. We are now initiating the royal returns to change the narrative of the African story. We are in now, the kings and the queens are in to tell the story of their people. And we are going to put that together and give it to the world. And through that, we embrace our African brothers and sisters home. And we'll have a big ceremony for that so that they will go home and experience the African spirituality. They will go home, we teach them how to pray, not going to the church to pray, how to pour libation, put water on earth, on Mother Earth. Because anything that you plant on earth, before the thing grows, it needs water. The same thing when you call your ancestors and the universe and you pour libation down, your spirit grows and the body develops.
Hmm.
So, in a nutshell, the royal returns has so much we can put together to tell the African story and to build a bridge between the diaspora and Africa, and to awake the African spirituality. Because very soon we are going to build a big shrine. When I said a shrine of Pan Africanism, whereby we have faces of Jody Boys, Paddy Moore, Martin Luther King, Kwame Nkrumah, great Mansa Musa, great kings who create their stools for them in a sacred mountain that all Africans, and we invoke the spirit, the universal spirit there. So all Africans who visit Africa for the royal return will go see the shrine. Because they have one in Mecca, they have one in Jerusalem,
That's right.
they have one in Iran. Where is the African shrine? We have to create, and we are the beginning of humanity because the laws of genetics show teaches us that the dark skin is dominant over other skin. Other skins are recessive. It's not a racist statement, but it's the truth. It's the laws of genetics. They wrote it, not I. And we, who started everything, where are our shrines? So we have to build a shrine for African descent, a place that will go and will see our past leaders. And before I go, when you go to Saudi Arabia, we have the black stone. All the Muslims go all over the world, go around that black stone. Jerusalem, Solomon's temple, there's a black stone there. If you go to Britain, there's a black stone there in the Buckingham Palace. And in Africa, we have these stones in our homes. In Adam, my kingdom, my home, we have those powerful stones. But now everybody's, I'm a Christian. Oh, those things are fetish. I don't go close. And the families are dropping, are dwindling because they don't honor their ancient fathers and mothers. The things that they've preserved for us that will raise us up, that will make us rich and powerful. We left everything. And that's the problem of Africa. So thank you very much for hosting me. And I pray we'll continue. And next time we'll talk, there is a very gifted king that is creating herbs, medicines that are not treating, are curing diseases.
Hmm.
So we'll bring him on board so that he will come and talk
Absolutely.
about spirituality to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Your Majesty, the King, my father, I honor you and I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for the knowledge that you've impacted on us today. It is valuable. We do not
Thank,
take it for granted.
thank
And
you.
I'm not sure how to talk African. I wanted to talk a bit like, traditionally, but
Thanks.
it's a bit of a struggle. But I apologize and please forgive me if I have broken any protocol for the day. Thank you so much
You
for
did very well.
coming.
You did very
Okay,
well.
thank you.
And
And
before we go, may I say, may the divine essence of the cosmic infuse our beings, cleanse us of all impurities of our minds and body, that we may enter into the temples of our souls, commune in pureness and in worthiness. May the divine light pierce through our personal consciousness, and may we trace the light of bliss to its source, there find our true self truly to be the one with the Father of all. May the divine essence of truth, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, long life and prosperity, riches, wealth, abundance, abide with Africa now and forevermore.
how do we say amen in African?
Yao,
Yow,
yao,
yow, yow to that prayer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yow. Everybody say yow to that prayer because it must come to pass.
pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. If you haven't had a swell time, I have indeed. I'm not sure what they've done with this our broadcast app. I'm unable to see comments and questions, and I know it's unusual. Perhaps that is something we'll have to look into again. It's been such a fantastic broadcast. I've enjoyed every moment of it. It was full of knowledge, knowledge, and more knowledge. I know that we're going to do this again, but for everybody who has watched, please go online, read about the return of the royals. And we should be looking at setting our calendars to fit in this event. Okay, December 11th to the 21st, 2024, Ghana is where we need to be. We must all be involved. We must propagate. We must talk about and share this information so that our brothers and sisters in the diaspora will know about the options that they have, the opportunities that they have to return into the motherland, uh, or maybe just connecting or reconnecting back to the motherland. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time, and I do hope that for everybody who joined in, apologies if I haven't read your messages, your questions, or comments. They just are not showing up on the system. There have been a few updates, perhaps that's the reason. But I will make sure that I respond when I go online. Okay, so if you haven't liked, followed, or subscribed to all of our channels, please do so. It is Africa Rice TV on YouTube, Africa Rice TV on Facebook and Instagram. It's been such a pleasure, and I do hope that I will see you again and in the coming days. Do have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.